Hey, today's video is about why I'm making these videos, because I've seen a lot of people coming into the channel that I don't know in real life, which is huge. I started making these videos just to talk to my friends and my family during the pandemic. And what's happened is people seem to like them, and I'm getting a lot more viewers that I don't actually know, which is great. But I thought I'd tell you a little bit about my story and a little bit about why I think like this, why I believe in human-centered systems so much. Because I didn't always believe in human-centered systems. I didn't always believe in an abundant universe. I grew up in a situation where we were very scarce. Food wasn't always a guaranteed thing in my childhood. Physical and emotional safety was also not always a guaranteed thing in my childhood. It was a really bleak time in my life. But I also got a lot of opportunities. My grandmother worked really hard to get me a scholarship to a private school that I went to instead of the public school in my neighborhood. And so I ended up out of place in a lot of places. I ended up in a lot of situations I wouldn't normally have been in had she not done that. I talked to a lot of people from different backgrounds, not only my own background where scarcity was the norm, but also I talked to people from abundant background. I talked to people from all over the world, really. And I got to have a ton of different amazing, eye-opening, perspective-broadening experiences throughout my childhood that made me want to go to college, that made me want to start my own business, that made me want to be successful. And when it came down to it, despite the fact that a lot of people told me that someone like me shouldn't start a business, someone like me shouldn't go to college, etc., someone like me shouldn't strive for a leadership position, I did it anyway because I wasn't seeing others who were as successful as me at a lot of stuff. I wasn't seeing other people whose systems worked as well as mine in a lot of ways. I wasn't seeing people winning campaigns the way I won them when I was in marketing. I wasn't seeing people setting up programs the way I set them up when I was doing strategy and management for nonprofits. I wasn't seeing that because when people are sort of used to a certain paradigm, they're used to working in one way, they're used to being in one way, we get told and encouraged by leaders and by systems that this is how it has to happen, that it's okay for a CEO to make 300 or 400 times what his lowest paid employee makes, that's just how it is. And because of my different background, because of the ways I've had to translate things in this world, I know for a fact that's not just how it is. I know for a fact that if someone tells me something can't be done, that's usually the first sentence in me actually doing it. When I built the Open Signal membership program here in Portland, Open Signal is a nonprofit that does media education. I made it $1 a year for all the members, and people thought that was crazy. But I did it, and I was confident in my design. And by the end of the first 6 months of the membership program, we had raised $25,000. And our membership was about 400 people. And that's because we focused on people-centered systems. A lot of our systems are capital-centered systems. They're made to funnel money up to a central point. They're made to sort of drain the bottom resources of that pyramid and take all of the labor, all of the profit, all of the capital up to a board, to a shareholder, to a CEO, not to the people who actually make the money. When we think about human-centered systems, that's when we are actually, from the top, dumping resources down, investing in those humans that work under us. Every person on this planet has internal values that are important to them. Every person on this planet has essential experiences and perspectives that we can't have because we're not them. Every person has a desire and a need to be seen, to be heard, to be safe, and to be valued. and to fit in where they belong. And when we give people that, and when we give them the resources to grow into their dreams and their visions, even if those aren't the dreams and visions of the company, what we're doing is, while we have that person in our sphere of influence, we are experiencing their exponential growth. And then our company, our department, our division, our campaign is experiencing their exponential growth. When you have people that work under you and you invest in their growth, regardless of which direction that growth might take them, and you respect the inherent goodness of that person and the genuine need to be productive and be a part of a team and work for common success that every human naturally has. When you invest in that, we grow so much larger. We grow so much larger because you cannot account for a human being. We, all of us, every person I've ever met is in their own way a miracle. They have experienced and overcome and internalized and synthesized knowledge that I will never have access to. And that's why every human that works under you, every person that works under you, every stakeholder, every connection, every relationship is so important. I don't work in bulk. I don't think about things at scale. Despite the fact that I have been successful at scale. I've managed audiences of over 100,000 and done extremely well. But that's because I don't think about 100,000 person solutions. I think about individual solutions. And because of our common humanity, those individual solutions work across broad spectrums. But, and this is the reason why I'm making these videos, when I come into the business sphere, when I come into people talking about systems, talking about people, talking about management and leadership, I'm not hearing this narrative. I've seen the miraculous result, the huge amount of profit that a person can get from investing in their people, but I'm not hearing it. I'm not really seeing a lot of work on human-centered systems. I'm not really seeing a lot of talk about the real end game for human-centered systems. I think a lot of people are talking about how, oh yeah, human-centered systems are good for retention. Human-centered systems, they're, people like them, customers like them. But human-centered systems, in addition to being just likable, are also intensely profitable. You, as a person, as an individual, as a small business owner, as a community leader, as a department head, as an executive, are going to make exponentially more money off of a human-centered system than a capital-centered system. That's the truth. And that's the thing I don't see people talking about, and that's why I'm so passionate about talking about it. Because it's not just that you invest in people and, encourage them, encourage their dreams, and value them as individuals because it's the right thing to do or because it feels good. Those are both true. Also, it's the more profitable option. It's the more stable option. It's the one that really makes money. It's the one that really works. So that's one of the reasons why I'm making these videos. It's why I'm so excited about them. Over and over, when I have done campaigns for, like I said, hundreds of thousands of people, 10 people, 20 people, 400 people, 1 million people, it doesn't matter the scale that you're working at. What matters, it doesn't matter the scale of population you're working at. What matters is that as long as you're working on a human scale, think about the people first. When you think about the people first, that's when success happens. That's when growth happens, because at the end of the day, we can have all this data, we can have all these reports, but capital is just capital. It's a thing, it's a tool. It doesn't have choice making. People are the things that are going to choose us. People are going to uplift us. People are going to share us. And that's what matters at the end of the day, is what people choose. Systems come and go. Capitalism will come and go. Religions come and go, whatever, paradigms come and go. People are the thing that endures, and people are the thing that are going to matter the most, no matter where we are or when we are. So, thank you for watching my video. See you tomorrow.